Hello, my name is Davis and welcome back to my channel where we talk about all things tech, and today I am talking about one of the most impressive products that I've used in a while. And this one did slip under the radar for me because until you hold it in your hands, it is literally so unassuming. I mean, imagine a laptop that weighs next to nothing, under a kilogram in fact. But at the same time, it doesn't have all of the compromises that you would expect of a super lightweight laptop. Because not only does this have one of the most beautiful displays that you've ever laid your eyes on, but it also has a processor that's faster than you expect. It's got impressive battery life, a fantastic keyboard, all the ports you need, and it's also extraordinary value for money. I couldn't believe that such a laptop existed, but it sure does, because MSI have sent me the Prestige 13 AI A1M to try out, and they've sponsored this video so that I could tell you all about it. So what is the MSI Prestige series? So MSI is probably best known for their gaming laptops, from the Stealth series to the massive Titan, but what is somewhat less well known is that they've also got a pretty long line of business and productivity led laptops, and that's where the Prestige comes in. MSI's Prestige line of laptops are for those who need a classier and more unassuming laptop for their work needs, and they're for people who need something that's slim and lightweight but cannot compromise on features and performance. And the Prestige 13 is just the embodiment of that. Just to have an idea of what the Prestige 13 is known for, last year it won a Red Dot Design Award, and the judges said that the MSI Prestige 13 is a laptop that impresses with its range of functions and elegant appearance. So if that's what the Red Dot Design judges thought, what do I think of the design? Well, at just under a kilogram in weight, when you pick it up, it gives the impression that it weighs close to nothing at all. At 990 grams, it weighs close to 300 grams less than something like even the lightest 13-inch MacBook Air, and that is something that you definitely notice. And despite that, it houses a very sizable 75 watt-hour battery inside. So how is it so light? Well, this 13-inch laptop is only 16.9 millimeters thick at its thickest point, and it's made of a combination of lightweight magnesium and aluminium. And that means that while it feels very rigid and robust, it still manages to be incredibly lightweight. And that chassis is available in two colors, pure white and stellar gray. And this gray one looks incredibly sleek and is relatively fingerprint resistant as well. Inside there is a brilliant backlit keyboard, and it feels incredibly satisfying to type on. What's great with having a metal chassis is that it keeps the keyboard flex in check, and look at this genius hinge design. When you open the laptop lid, the lid lifts the back of the laptop to create this very ergonomic typing angle, and this also creates additional space for the laptop to cool itself effectively, and it helps the downward firing speakers expand its soundscape. However, at the same time, the lid can also bend back almost 180 degrees, so it's far more versatile than a lot of other laptops. And one of the most extraordinary parts of this laptop has to be the display. You simply do not expect a display of this high quality in this price range of laptop. And this is also one of the largest improvements over last year's model. So if you've got one of those, then I'm afraid maybe it's time to upgrade. So this year, the screen is OLED, and it's one of the most gorgeous OLED displays that I've seen on a laptop. It's 13.3 inches in size with a resolution of 2.8K. That means 2880 by 1800 pixels, and that means that it's got a higher pixel per inch rating than something like a MacBook Pro, which already is extremely pixel dense. So that's really, really good to hear. And that resolution also means that it's 16 by 10 in aspect ratio, which gives you that extra little bit of vertical space to spread out your work. And yes, we all know the advantages of OLED, but let me just repeat it again. Not only can they be more power efficient as they're able to completely turn off individual backlights of pixels, but it also means that they've got incredible black levels, and also they are very, very colorful. This one not only achieves HDR500 True Black certification, but it also covers 100% of DCI-P3 color gamuts, so it's perfect for color graders. You probably won't be doing much color grading work on this, but like if you wanted to, it would look really good. What has impressed me most with this display though, although it is a little bit glossier than I like, is that it doesn't have many of the shortcomings of some other OLED laptop panels that I've seen. It firstly doesn't display the screen door effect that gives you that sort of weird moiré-ing effect. And secondly, even when viewed from fairly off-axis horizontally, the whites don't shift into a weird blue color. That definitely is very good. It honestly looks amazing, and it's a display that I would expect from a far more expensive laptop. Okay, so we like the screen and we like the design, but the hardware of the Prestige 13 also has some pretty cool features. Firstly, above the screen, there is a pretty decent 1080p webcam with a mechanical cover if you are concerned about things like privacy. But it does get better because if you look closely, there's also a couple of infrared blasters, which means that it's compatible with Windows Hello facial unlocking, which means that it's both very convenient and secure. But if you prefer not to use your face, there is also a fingerprint sensor hidden inside the power button, which is super nice to have. We've already covered how nice the backlit keyboard is. Some people have pointed out that it's a little bit of an unusual layout, but honestly, that took me about 5 minutes to get used to. And the touchpad is very large and accurate, but we must note that it is a dive board mechanism. Okay, so the problem with most slim and light laptops is that one of the main compromises is the lack of ports. However, not so with this one, because this has every port that you could possibly need, plus more. Because not only do we have a pair of super fast USB-C Thunderbolt 4 ports with PD charging, but there is also a USB-A 3.2 Gen 1 port, there's a headphone jack, we have a micro SD card reader as well, and we've also got an HDMI 2.1 port, which means that you can output of up to 8K at 60Hz, or more realistically, 4K at 120. And oh yeah, there's also a Kensington security lock thing, so watch out if you are trying to steal this from a store's display stand, I guess. So we know about the design, the screen, and the features of the Prestige 13, but what lies inside? Well, this has the new Intel Core Ultra 7 155H processor, and that is very interesting because that is a very fast processor that's typically found in laptops this size class above, like a 15-inch laptop, let's say. And that processor, which has 6 performance cores and 8 efficiency cores, when paired with the Intel Arc graphics, delivers terrific day-to-day performance. And when paired with 32GB of RAM in this example, I had no problem whatsoever when performing everyday tasks like writing this review where I had a million background tabs open. This processor is quite interesting as well because it also has the integrated NPU, which should help accelerate AI-related tasks, which should be helpful with all of the new AI features like Copilot that's becoming more and more prevalent in new and future versions of Windows. And it should also help future-proof this device. And when talking about performance, as I usually talk about smartphones on this channel, let's use Geekbench, and this laptop was very impressive indeed. I got a multi-core score of 2,222 and almost 11,000 multi-core, which is extremely impressive for a laptop of this size and weight. And MSI has allowed you to switch between performance modes quite easily. While I usually stick to the Smart Auto mode, which uses AI, you can also select Ambient Silent AI, which will push the fan to improve performance, but only up to the level of the ambient sound. So essentially, you should never hear the fan, even when the fan is on. And you can also select from the typical extreme performance and super battery life modes that you would expect of a Windows PC. So while this is largely a businessy laptop, let's see what this thing can do when pushed. And let me just say that I had no problems whatsoever editing my videos in Premiere Pro. The 4K footage in this timeline from a Canon R6 can easily be color corrected, and I can play the media back and scrub through the timeline just fine. And if you are interested in casual gaming, that is possible too, as this has Intel Arc graphics. It can actually play some AAA games quite effectively. For example, if you want to play some Forza Horizon 5 before a business meeting, let's say, you can play that at 1080p at low settings and still get close to a locked 60 frames per second. And Persona 3 Reload also plays well in medium settings at 1080p. I'm not saying that this is a gaming powerhouse in any way, but for a laptop of this size and this portability, being able to play these games at all is pretty impressive. And now we come to one of the most important parts of a laptop, the battery life. So the thing is, when you've got a powerful but compact laptop like this one, battery life isn't usually the best because the batteries are typically smaller than what would be ideal. But the amazing thing with this laptop is that inside the super lightweight body, there is a massive 75 watt-hour battery hidden inside. And that means that it's actually possible to eke out well over 10 hours of battery life with the Prestige 13 with light use. Some people have actually quoted closer to 20 hours. More typically though, you are probably looking at around 6 to 8 hours of use, and if you are really pushing it, around 3 to 4 hours. Battery life on this is very impressive and basically top in class for an Intel laptop. And now we come to the most impressive part, and I hate to say it, it's the price. This is the top-in-line version with 32 gigabytes of RAM and 1 terabyte of storage, and it retails in Australia for 2,699 Australian dollars RRP, but JB Hi-Fi at the time of recording this has it for $18.99. That is insane value. That's virtually half the price of some competitors. And I honestly just can't see where the costs have been cut, because this has become one of my favorite laptops that I've used all year, and I'm quite sad to say goodbye to it. It's super light, it's got fantastic build quality, a great screen, I love the keyboard, it's fast, it's got really good battery life. The only problem is that it's got too many stickers on the inside, but if this was my laptop, I would probably just peel them off. And oh yeah, I forgot to mention that when you use this laptop on your lap, you can cover the bottom firing speakers, which can be a little bit annoying. So if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And if you've got any questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section below, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you MSI ANZ for sponsoring my channel as well. I could not afford to keep this channel running without their support. And you can check out more details about this laptop in the description. And until next time, toodaloo.